Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of the Edmonds Racing Preview Show. We're coming to you a little bit earlier than normal this week on a Thursday, ahead of a big weekend of racing, including 2 Friday meetings. Tobe, just yourself this week. Trent's given himself a little trip up the M1 to take in the Ashes. Any curfew, do you think?
Natalia might have a curfew for him. He can stay out all night. He's 30 years of age, so he can do what he likes. But I'd say Natalia and Penelope would have a curfew. Better get home in a reasonable state, I'd say.
That's right. Well, they made a good start, the Aussies.
Yeah, they went super, didn't they? I bet he wishes he was there yesterday. It might be all over before he gets up there, so who knows. Anyway, they should have a good day. I think a bunch of them go up there, a couple of the track riders, and they've been doing it for quite a few years, this first test match in Brisbane. It's a good day out. I've been there too. It's a good day out, actually. Really good day.
Very good. Nothing like a little sporting tradition, is there? So, very good. Well, it's been a big week for the stable. Let's recap that. Global Citizen, a great return to the races for the strong bloodstock team after basically it was almost a year off the track, wasn't it?
Hold on, I just found out as our co-host here has an interest, yeah?
Yeah, a little micro share became available through the strong bloodstock boys and obviously supporting another good client here in the Edmonds racing team. So it ticked 2 boxes there and jumped in, and it's a micro share, very micro.
Doesn't matter, it's an interest. How's that?
It is, but he saluted and almost 12 months off the track, and it was a good win.
Yeah, he went good, didn't he? We're a little bit concerned about his fitness because he'd been off for so long, and I'm not sure how much we spoke about him in previous shows and through his trials and that, but he looks unbelievably well, this whole time through. He's grown strong, he's big, and then I'm Invincibles can take a little bit of time to mature, and he's one of those slow maturing things. He's out of a very, very good mare. He's quite well bred, and showed his customary speed the other day and kicked away. He's too strong and too fast and too quick for those horses the other day. So he looks to have a pretty good future as long as he stays together. And I will say he's very similar to his father in regard that when I'm Invincible as a young horse, he had shocking feet. We're flat out keeping shoes on him. The farrier, at that time, we actually had to equinox a whole foot and then have the shoes glued on basically to him so he could get through. That's how bad he was. Now this horse is very similar. He had shocking feet all the way through. He actually pulled a shoe off in the run the other day, which is credit to the horse because he can go 3-legged lane pretty quick. Especially if a shoe comes off or something happens in his feet. And we've had awful trouble with them on the way through, so thank God. I'm not sure where the shoe come off, by the way. It could have, I know there was one got re-shot at the start, didn't it? Is that right?
Of the race?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he could have been, could have even stood on it then and pulled it off. I don't know, but look, it's good that he got through it, and he's come through the other end of it really good too. He's pulled up super.
Yeah, he's establishing a pretty handy record now too.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Bernie McMahon, who's one of the shareholders in Global Citizen. His wife passed away 3, 4, 5 months ago. I'm not sure, but it's within the last 6 months anyway. He's doing it pretty tough, and for the horse to come back and win like he did, I think Bernie come out. He was out here for the win and then went home. But well done, Bernie, and I'm really pleased the horse could win for you and. Give you a bit of a kick along. How's that? Yeah,
great stuff. Well done to you, Bernie. I know Bernie was at the trials previously as well, so he loves the horse and, obviously a special time for him. So well done there. Wrapping up some of the feature race runners, the Harrovian, he was a good 5th in the listed recognition. Yep. What did you make of the run and how's he come through?
Okay, he's pulled up super. I took him out for a walk on Sunday morning myself, just for a lap around the canal and a bit of a pick, and he towed me around, so that in that regard he's pulled up great. Look, he drew a little bit of a sticky barrier, so we were a little concerned about how we were going to ride him. There didn't look to be a great deal of speed in the race, which ended up that way, but in the end we decided to ride him quietly because we didn't want to be going up into the tempo, getting caught 3 wide, first up, being an 8-year-old, first up in a race like that. So look, we decided to go back and ride for a bit of luck. Brad rode him beautifully, he got him into a beautiful spot, which he does 9 times out of 10. Brad Stewart, he's very, very good at out of the barriers, finding that right spot. I suppose the only thing we did do, we got stuck behind Barney's Law that wasn't going to cart us into the race, so Brad had to expose him a little bit early. And he sort of cornered it a little awkward, So, you know, he went that quick when he let him go. I don't think he actually got onto the right leg. Getting into the corner, you'll see his head turned to the inside. I think Brad was trying to get him on the right leg, or get him around the corner, because, as I said, he ran pretty hard into that
He's building
corner.
Momentum, yeah.
Yeah, and just got a little awkward on the corner, but he whacked away good in the straight. His condition probably give out a little bit with probably 100 to go, but he'll lose no admirers, and he'll improve sharply off that now. And as I said, he's come through that run good. He's had a good week, you know, a couple of days under saddle and a couple of quiet days on the treadmill, and he's ready to go.
Okay, next race for him.
Look, well, there's two races. There's the Loft Knee. It's a 1350, or we go straight to the Burnborough, either or. I don't think we'd have any trouble in either of them, really. It's going pretty good.
Okay, in for a good prep then, hopefully.
Yeah. So he'll only have 2 runs now instead of 3, and then obviously the nominations are open for the All-Star Mile. Hopefully we get another berth into that, and we can have a crack at Flemington.
That'll be very good. And then Hard Empire, he was very good too. 4th in the Group 3 George Moore, and worked home really well.
Yep. I see Steve Hewlett found him late last night.
He was doing his replays on a Wednesday, obviously.
What? Who does that? Like, seriously?
Good on you, Steve.
Yeah, no, Steve's a good man. He's just a little bit slow off the mark, but anyway, he'll be right. Yeah, no, he did, and he was exactly right in what he said in his tweet. Was he drew awkward? We went back to. He's another one. He's another 8-year-old first up that we didn't want to be sort of pushing up into it, because he trials quite fresh, and if you bounce him, he can really get up and racing, and we didn't want that to be happening. So we decided Ryan Maloney rode him beautiful, went back, and he worked home as good as anything in the race. Ryan was quite confident if we drew, even though fitness probably would have give out, I would suggest, but if he drew soft, he's in the finish with with that Zeus style. So good effort.
Very good first up run. So both, I guess, same story for both those feature race runners, in for a good prep.
They look like they do. He's heading towards the Magic Million Sprint, which is 15th of January or something. He'll be 3rd up in that. He'll run in the Falvalon prior to.
Very good. Enough to keep a little spring in your step for the trainers.
Yeah. So that'll keep Trent a little bit hyped up. He likes to win every race, but got to realise we can't win every race. There's good things ahead.
Yep, very good. All right, well, speaking of good things ahead, big weekend of racing kicking off with 2 meetings on the Friday. Moorland Bar gets us underway. Race 3, Ballistic Babe here in a maiden handicap over the 1100 metres. 4-year-old mare who's a first starter and won a Gold Coast trial. Yeah, won a second trial. Trial pretty good too, actually. Got home nicely. I actually thought that trial, there was a couple of nice pedigreed horses in that trial. John Moore had a really nice pedigreed horse, and I thought she would struggle against that field, but she actually didn't trial too bad and finished it off nicely. Subsequently, she's done well. Would like to see her in first up to make sure that trial form's different to race day. So she's going well enough to run well. So hopefully she gets the right run and can finish off hard. And you guys and Archer Park team have been patient with her, obviously. She's been one that's been through the system a number of times, but keeps going sore. She come from Lamb. She's 3. She might be 4. 4, yeah.
Yeah, she's 4. So you're right. But she kept going sore, so that's why she's taken so long. Must be just only maturity, because it wasn't a great deal. We just had to tip her out and bring her back, and tip her out and bring her out a few times. So. Okay, well, hopefully she gets the benefit of that moving forward. Archer Park also have Amersfield, who lines up in a maiden handicap over the 1100. He ran 3rd at Grafton first up over a similar trip. Yeah, he's a horse that can gallop. He's a really sharp galloper, actually, but hasn't produced at race day yet. That's not to say he won't. He's got a good pedigree. He's a deep field. Out of a reasonably good mare, so he might be just taking a little while to switch on, but I'm quite sure that once the penny drops, he'll go bang crash wallop and put a few together. He's improved since his first run. I thought he looked a bit ring rusty or really rusty going to Grafton, and he started quite short in the market. But I think he's improved enough and looks well enough to be running pretty well tomorrow in a race like that down there. So I'm quite confident he can win. Okay, good stuff. Well, good luck to the Archer Park team with both those runners there. The final runner on the Moorland program is White House Girl, 3-year-old chestnut filly. She won the same day that Amersfield went down to Grafton for the girls, and looking to go back-to-back here. Yeah, good win the other day. Trav Travis Wolfgram just put it beyond doubt. He drove straight to the front and run him along, and she was far too good for those horses on that day. Always hard to put wins back to back together, especially going from maiden up in grade. But I think she can. She's got a good pedigree. Pedigree's pretty good, and she gets another nice race to let her progress. I think she's going to get a soft track tomorrow. Probably wouldn't want it too heavy, but certainly if it's in the soft range, she's going to run well. They always get off the fence at Moorland and run down the middle to the outside of the track, especially when the track's had a bit of rain or a bit of wet weather around. So I expect them to be finishing out wide tomorrow, and I'm pretty sure she can run well.
Okay, and the girls, no doubt, they've been pretty excited since her debut win.
Yep. They are all excited. You know, it's a good bunch of people. Brucey put these guys together, so well done, Brucey.
Well done, Brucey, in the Wonder Woman colours. So
that's it. Yeah.
Fingers crossed she can go back to back. All right, let's move over to the Doomben Twilight meeting tomorrow, Friday. Pedal to the Metal lines up in a maiden plate over 1350. Was fourth over 1200 metres at his first start for the stable, but he's sort of, I guess, a fourth emergency. So
probably get a run.
Sweating on a run.
Probably get a run. He's a little bit wayward, you know, and he's a strong, hard horse to ride. But I thought he looked great. You know, I had a good look at him this morning there, and I thought, gee, he looks good. And he's a bit tricky. I'd suggest I'd want to see him win one pretty quickly before I get too excited about him. But I did like his run the other day. Looked like he was going to do nothing, and then he got going late. You know, senior on tomorrow, so I expect a bit better performance.
Okay. Well, good luck to everyone involved there with Pedal to the Metal. We then move over to a Class 4 handicap over the 1200 metres. You've got three acceptors here in Perito, Coat of Arms and Fall on a Star. And I guess a bit of a disclaimer here because a few are also dual nommed or dual accepted for the Gold Coast meeting on Saturday.
Yeah, which they haven't taken the acceptances yet, so we're not quite sure where they run. But three won't run here. We'll split them up the best we can and find the right race. I suppose if Fall on a Star gets a run, I'd probably run her in town, even though she's drawn a bit awkward. So we might just let Paredo and
Coat of Arms.
They might bowl around down here on Saturday. But we'll try and split them up the best we can.
Okay, and let's just quickly touch on each of them. Fall on a Star, stable newcomer, and won a recent trial.
Comes from Philip Stokes. Philip Stokes' Adelaide stable. Had form at Morfordville and those places. She's a low rater, 62. They've sent her here to try and get a bit of black type, but she's not quite at that level yet. She needs to progress. So she'll be more a winter type stakes runner if we can get her there. So that's the hold up with that. The guys actually sent an email the other day wondering why she's not in these stakes races. Well, we've had some wet tracks and that which she doesn't go on, and we've been on the back foot a bit with wet tracks. So like the trials, it can certainly gallop. And I think tomorrow will be a good kick-off point for her to see where she actually fits in.
Okay, very good. Well, yeah, maybe one to keep an eye on.
I think so. Yeah, even though it's drawn awkward, it could still run well off its southern form.
Okay. Moving over to Paredo, second in a recent trial.
Paredo, good filly at 2 preps ago. Went missing a bit last prep, but I think she's back. I think she very similar to Grand Zoo. You know, he went missing for a prep and he ran well here last Saturday. And I'm quite confident, you know, off a couple of trials that she can do the same. As I mentioned, whether we run her there or over here on Saturday. So wherever she runs, she'll run well, but we'll improve with the run.
Okay, and Coat of Arms, the other one, is third up and drops back from midweek grade for this.
Yeah, he's in form. Another one that likes to run along pretty hard. But as I said, they could both cut at each other. So we'll split those two up. So if he runs over here Saturday, I'm quite confident he can run well.
Okay. Oh, well, a bit of insight on each of the runners, and we'll just keep an eye on scratchings and where they do go. Let's move over to Eagle Farm. The Queensland Summer Racing Carnival rolls on here, and exciting for connections. Sterling Cincotta here, Beyond Fate, and his group of owners.
Yeah.
Won a maiden at the Gold Coast, and now is in a $250,000 race called the Gateway over 1,400 metres, and the winner of this race gets a ticket into the Stradbroke.
Yeah, so Stel sent me a text on Monday actually and said, Gateway, question mark. I had a quick look at it and I thought, it's a bit out of his grade. But anyway, he's a gelding. Why not? You know, we can always come back to a Class 1. They run them every week. So that's the analogy of that. And look, his first up run here was super, and his win the other day was even better. You know, he finished off hard. If you believe the time they ran that day, you know, like Apache Chase is going to be hard to beat in a race like that. But certainly, you'd like to see him finishing on a bit, and you get a clear picture on where they're at, because that's the true form. The Saturday form up there's the true form, you know, and then your horses can sort of, you know, you can place them here, you can place them there, you can place them anywhere. So I think that's where we're at with him. But going good, beautiful horse, really, really stunning type. He looks great. His Nexosphere, we'll just ride him quite like we have been. Because he's quite an aggressive going thing. If he gets outside him, and he can be a bit wayward. So hopefully we can get him to relax and see how he finishes off.
Very good. Well, yeah, as you say, you got to have it throw at the stumps, and obviously he's in the field, so exciting time for the owners there. So good luck ahead of that race. We then move over to Usmanov, who's in the Bribey Handicap. Obviously won this race last year. Bailey's back aboard and won a recent trial.
Yeah, so liked his trial. Bailey sat off them in the trial. Bailey's resumes himself tomorrow, so both him and the rider, the horse and the rider, are resuming, which is good. I think he looks a bit better than the rider. The rider looked a bit pale the other day when the trials on Tuesday. Anyhow, I sent a video through to the owners of Usmanov, and I thought he was a little bit shabby in the coat on Tuesday morning after his gallop, which he was. But that gallop done him the world of good. So in 2 days, I took him to the pool this morning, and looked fantastic. You know, he does. He looks really good. Got a bit of weight, like a horse like him and Sugar Boom. There's a fair bit of difference in weight, and they've sort of been rivals for the last, you know, probably 2 seasons. They're both very, very fast horses, and we've been able to get her down a couple of times. But anyhow, big weight difference there. So hopefully, with the 60 kilos, we can roll him along. He's very fast. He loves to run. He actually loves Eagle Farm for a Schwarzer like he is, and the legs he's got. He actually loves Eagle Farm, which is important. And he's as good as we can have him first up. A bit worried about the weight though. At 60 kilos, probably the last 50 or 60 metres.
Right, yeah, he does go up 4 kilos from last year, I noted. So,
but he's won subsequently with bigger weights, and raced well with big weights. But still, you know, when the whips are cracking with 30 or 40 to go, and there's one with 55 and a half, one with 60 and a half, and you know, it's a bit of a weight difference.
Yeah, sure. Oh, well, good race. Good to see him back, and good luck to Connections there. The final runner on the program's Royal Witness.
What about the colours?
The colours, yeah, we did touch on this last week.
Oh, so they went around on Sunday. The first go, Ruka got beat, ran third naturally.
Yeah, rightio. So looking for improvement in the new colours.
Usmanov can carry the colours to another level this weekend.
Did you have any trouble seeing him in the run the other day, or they better?
No, I can always see Ruka. He drew one. It was easy to see, but they're not as easy to see as Darren's other colours. Actually, I like the other colours, but these are okay.
Oh well, barrier one for Usmanov, so hopefully, and as you say,
they might be lucky because they've drawn 2 1s. Ruka drew one the other day, and Usmanov's drawn one, so we might have a change of barrier luck.
Very good. All right, well, good luck to everyone involved there. We then move over to Royal Witness in the Class 6 plate over the 1,200 metres.
Wow, poor old Royal Witness. What a barrier.
Barrier, 13.
13, yeah.
Month between
shove
runs.
him in the outside. He's actually galloped super on the course proper on Tuesday morning with Usmanov. Usmanov's not the flashiest worker. Robbie rode Royal Witness, and Ben Hull, who's probably 70 kilos, rode Usmanov, so it's a bit of difference in weight. But as good as I've seen him work, Royal Witness, terrible barrier, just have to button off, go back and ride for luck. He actually races pretty good when we do that anyway, and Robbie does get the best out of him, so hopefully, you know, from the barrier we get some sort of 3 wide line perhaps, and the pattern of the day, if it suits, you know, he'll be running on and try his hardest, he always does.
Okay. Runner bad barriers, do we consider a name change? I mean, is there any? There's a little theory about that, isn't there? With,
I don't know. Yeah, so
if the computer spits out a number with the name.
Interesting you say that. I rang up about the Racing Australia to find out how we seem to manage to get bad barriers when you see your competitors constantly getting barriers inside 5 and 6.
This is the Jeff Tuvey. There needs to be an investigation.
Yeah. Anyway, they came back to they did a summer in all our runners over the year, and it levelled out.
Evens out. Okay.
It levels out. It does level out. So that's what happened. There's nothing dodgy about it. It's just computer generated. It goes and goes into the slots, and that's it. But over a period of 12 months, we had X amount of runners. Might have been 60-40, 55-45, whatever it was. It was very close to good barriers versus bad barriers, so it all works out.
Okay, well, I guess
rest assured, there's nothing dodgy about it. It just seemed that every Saturday when we had some nice runners, they'd draw the outside.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, hopefully Royal Witness can have a bit of luck from the gate anyway, and good luck to the Tricolours team with him.
Yeah.
All right, that leaves us just to touch on any other runners for the Gold Coast. As we said, acceptances aren't out as yet. Yep. So that just leaves, I guess, Red Stiletto, who's going to accept fourth at the Gold Coast over 900 metres first up, and 1,200 metres would be a plus.
Should be a plus, yeah. She ran... so I think we mentioned this on the show before. She come to us from Anthony Cummings and David Van Dyke had her early in the piece, and the owner's just quite keen to see if she can just progress and then see where we get to in the wintertime. So it's important she runs well tomorrow, out to 1,200, ride her a bit kinder. We rode her kind in the 900 metre race the other day, and she ran on super, I thought, and she's improved quite a bit. She's a gross little dumpy fat thing who doesn't seem to get fit at all, but looks like she's just one of those things similar to She's Our Boss. She's very, of the same build and same mold, going well. So I can't fault her, and hopefully she draws softly and we can have a nice run behind them and finish on.
Okay. Yeah, well, she's, as we mentioned, one of the other, with many of those other runners in the Class 2 handicap, so we'll just keep an eye on acceptances there. Yeah. And then the other runner is Albert's in charge for the Archer Park team. Fourth behind Lime Soda last start.
That's right, yeah, and he was second up. He went super. Blinkers on first time, ran along in front and kept going. Got run down late by some little bit of quality. Look, he's going well. I thought he'd improved a bit, actually, quite a bit, to be truthful. His work's been pretty sharp. Hoping for a softer draw. If he draws out a bit, you're going to have to use him too much, but if he draws softly, he can run these along, and as long as the track's playing fair and equal, he'll be hard to run down on Saturday, so I'll give him a good chance. Very
good. All right, well, that's the runners, Tobe. Let's just quickly recap and see if we can sort everyone out with the best bet.
Oh, difficult weekend. So we got... Okay, this one's not even in the list yet because the races were washed out yesterday. So
Ipswich,
yes,
abandoned.
The filly yesterday,
Empress Zoo.
Okay, is in on Sunday now because they've let us accept with her because of the washed out meeting.
Right.
So she goes into a 1,200 metre Sunday. So I'm going to wait for my best for Sunday.
Okay, well there you go. We better touch on her quickly then.
Yeah, you can do it.
So Empress Zoo, yeah. So okay, Ipswich called off.
Yeah, they washed out. They're in the enclosure, going out at the barrier, I think, and I wasn't there. Trent was there, and the storm came, and they brought them back in. The meeting got abandoned due to wet weather. And Racing Queensland were good enough to let all those horses that hadn't run, and for any race meet that hadn't been accepted in, let them into the fields for the weekend. So she'll go into maiden 1,200 Sunday with Zach Lloyd on.
Yep.
And Zach goes on holidays after that, and hopefully can go out a winner.
Very good. Okay, and obviously she's going well. I see she was well supported yesterday prior to the meeting.
I thought she could have won yesterday, even though she drew a bit sticky. She's had a good weight. Bit of weight relief off Tony Gollan's horse. I'm pretty sure she's pretty sharp, so she should have went well.
Okay, very good. Now, Trent's not here, but would you say he'd have a leaning to any of the runners?
Oh, he'd nearly go the same way. He likes her as well.
Okay.
So Empress Sue, I would think. Maybe White House Girl down at Moorland tomorrow as well, if it's not too heavy. So either of those two, I think we get a good return.
Very good. All right, well, there you go. Have a good weekend, everyone. Good luck to Connections.
Thank you.